Yeah, no, I didn't include the Death Stranding stuff because I was like, yeah, it's a trailer.
Yeah, I guess so.
We can mention that it happened.
That happened.
Yeah, that happened.
There we go, we mentioned it.
New stuff out there.
That happened.
A character named Die Hard Man.
Yes. It's a very Kojima thing to do. Go back. Go back.
Die Hard Man. I don't know if that means that he, like, is Die Hard.
You will foreshadow
or
Die Hard?
whether he's, like, the movie Die Hard.
Can we just call him Bruce Willis?
Yeah, Die Hard Man. Whereas, like, Die Hard, like, the car battery. Is he made of car batteries? Does he run off a car battery?
I don't know. What should I tell everyone to do? Watch?
Yes.
Watch. Watch.
I'm not really sure what else you would have told them.
I don't know. Listen. Chat.
Live. Experience. Embrace. Withstand.
Okay, maybe a little too.
I can keep going.
Alright, we're good. We're up. We're live. We're on a roll here. So
we're on a roll.
You take that.
We're on a cinnamon roll. Ooh, I want a cinnamon roll.
Ooh, a Cinnabon?
Cinnabon.
A Cinnabon. Cinnabon is always fun.
Cinnabon.
Bump, 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 bump. Bump, 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 bump.
Get your Cinnabon at the Cinnabon.
We are the champions. Alan Iverson.
Scorpion.
I'm a scorpion. Eating wontons.
WETETS. Scorpions.
Alright, we ready to go? We're live. Oh wait, we should probably start recording then.
Only one place with fish and lizards. Hello! Hey, we're recording.
And we're going. And we're live.
It's a podcast.
This is podcast format. That's live format.
How that works. Hello, welcome to the Media Boat Podcast. That is the podcast you are listening to currently, the Media Boat Podcast. Today is Wednesday, May 29th. This is episode 177.
It's the end of May.
It's the end of May.
It's literally the end of May.
Yeah, next week it will be June.
Technically this weekend it will be June.
Yeah, but I mean to our podcast listeners, next time you see us, it will be a new month. It will be June. We'll be halfway through, just about halfway through 2019. Can you believe it?
We'll have a summer tan going on.
Hopefully. I'm looking forward to actual sunshine. We've had some muggy days here in Southern California, but it seems to be cleared up. The Media Boat Podcast, in case you don't know what we are not a weathercast.
No.
We are a podcast about media, about movies, television, video games, and music. Not necessarily in that order.
You did that on purpose.
Always. My name is Matt. His name is Mike.
I'm Mike. He's Matt. We are media of boats and podcastings.
Sure.
And stuff. This is episode 177.
Said that already.
177. Wow.
Already ahead of you.
You're already ahead of me. I better catch up.
To catch up, why don't we start the podcast? What a concept, right?
Oh,
By talking about movies, like we always do.
We always start podcasts with the movies.
And we always start movies with the weekend box office numbers.
All right. So we had a couple big... one big release, actually.
One big release that took the world by storm. Well, took the box office by storm, in it took it number one spot.
You could say it took the box office to a whole new world.
Ha! Mm-hmm. I ain't never had a movie like this. It is Aladdin, the Disney live-action remake of sorts of Aladdin, coming in number one with a bullet with $91 million debut.
Yes, it made 113 over the 4-day weekend.
Not bad at all, actually. That is pretty good for an opening weekend for this thing.
Yeah, it hit 100. That's just what it should do.
Turns out you're going for the family audience. You're going for the people who are nostalgic for the original. You get several different check boxes checked here.
You get several generations there who have to buy tickets for everyone.
Yeah, so big success for Aladdin. Coming in number 2, though, John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum returns for another $24 million. That has crossed the 100 mark.
Congratulations, John Wick.
Avengers Endgame.
I assume a fourth one will be there.
Huh?
I assume there'll be a fourth one.
Definitely. I think it's already been confirmed for 2021.
Okay.
But yes, Avengers Endgame hangs in there at number 3. Another $17 million, adding to its staggering $798 million total domestic.
That will cross $800 million with
Today,
ease today, probably.
Pokemon Detective Pikachu, also still in the top 5. At number 4 with $13 million. That's sitting at $116 million. So that, yeah, needless to say, that movie has been a success, and there will be another one.
That is a hit.
Yeah, that's a hit.
They have talked about it. We'll talk about more Pokemon later, though.
Yeah, we'll get there. Then lastly, rounding up your top 5, Brightburn, your superhero horror movie.
Your Superman is in, is Why Is This Happening?
Yeah.
Horror film.
Coming in at number 5, $7.8 million debut. That's it.
Ew.
If you're wondering what about the other debut last week.
There was another debut?
Yes, Olivia Wilde's Booksmart.
Oh. The DOA Booksmart.
That came out with, well, not so much. I think it's a pretty cheap movie to make. So
it is.
The fact that it made $6.9 million in its first weekend, not bad. Not terrible.
Not
Just
bad.
in a week dominated by big powerhouse blockbusters, it couldn't compete. So that's came in at number 6 this week.
Yeah. Congratulations. That happened.
Yeah. 6.9, nice. Upcoming this weekend, of course, the big movie this weekend, that's the major release here. Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Yes.
This Friday in theaters.
This Thursday, this Friday screenings. Yes.
All of the above.
This should be your number 1 debut, thanks to Legendary Pictures.
Yep. But it's got some counter-programming here.
But it's the king of the box office. What could be counter-programming to that?
Well, horror movie Ma.
Yes.
Which looks to be...
starring Octavia Spencer.
Octavia Spencer as mother who has parties with kids and ends up being sinister.
Yes, this is a horror film.
Yeah. And lastly, Elton John biopic Rocket Man.
This has potential to take number 1.
It seems like this is going to get the Bohemian Rhapsody audience.
That's why I'm saying it has potential to be number 1.
Right.
It's also Elton John.
Godzilla will be your number 1 movie. I am saying that now.
Lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
Also, I think Rocket Man is rated R.
Is it?
I believe so.
Okay.
I want to say it is because there was some interview with Elton John about should it be rated PG-13.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, why? I didn't live a PG-13 life.
Definitely not.
No.
And yeah, I mean, you don't, when it's a biopic, it's always best if you don't pull your punches. So I think you need an R rating. That was one of the complaints about Bohemian Rhapsody. Was it was like kind of blurring the lines of some of the stuff that happened.
Yes. Rocket Man does have the better critical acclaim going into this weekend.
Sure, yes. Godzilla, it seems like the takes I'm hearing is that it's pure, ridiculous, popcorny action.
Which I expect, as there's going to be like 12 monsters in this film.
Right, and you either are down for that or you want more character stuff. And honestly, if you want more character stuff, why are you seeing Godzilla? That's my question.
It's for the monsters.
It's for the monsters.
You let the monsters fight.
Yes.
Or if you want to see miniature, pocket-sized monsters.
Yeah.
Those are out there, too.
That's a Detective Pikachu. That's a different movie. All right. Well, those are your new releases this week. Did you see any movies this week that you want to talk about?
I was going to see Aladdin.
All right, and that didn't happen, I'm guessing?
No, because then my doctor also wanted to see Aladdin. So we're going to switch it up, and I was going to wait.
All right. Oh, I also did not see any movies this week. It was kind of a slow week.
Yeah, well, I was in the desert, so literally
no movies out there.
movie theater near me.
You may chat on the chatter.
Yes. Hello, my dudes.
Hello.
Hello, my dudes. Hello, my darling. Welcome to the chat.
All right. So let's move on then right into movie news, since we didn't see anything of note. Next week, yes, you will probably see Aladdin. I may see Godzilla, depending on how the what the vibe of the weekend goes. So.
I know that Saturday I'm busy, but I may be free Sunday at some point.
We'll see. All right. Moving into movie news. Our first movie news bit is about Cannes Film Festival.
So this past weekend, or whole week, I guess, was the French-renowned Cannes Film Festival.
Ooh la la, as they say.
Yes, and this is where they award the Palme d'Or and Grand Prix, I believe.
Yes, two awards that are kind of make or break for early independent films about whether they get a successful distribution deal. So yeah, this is happening at the moment. Netflix scooped up the global rights, by the way, to the Cannes Film Grand Prix winner Atlantics, directed by Mati Diop, and the Critics' Week Award winner I Lost My Body from Xylem Animation. Xylem?
It's Xylem Animation. This is an animated feature. So Atlantic is the live action, and then I Lost My Body is the animated feature. Okay. Both Netflix picked up both of these for global distribution.
Got it. So Atlantic is the story of 17-year-old Ada, who is in love with Suleiman, a young construction worker, but she has been promised to another man. One night, Suleiman and his co-workers leave the country by sea in hopes of a better future. Several days later, a fire ruins Ada's wedding, and a mysterious fever starts to spread. Little does Ada know that Suleiman has returned.
Ooh, and love. Will love conquer all?
Perhaps.
From
the ashes of fire.
I should have wrote this down. I thought I was going to remember what actual country it was from. Darfur, maybe?
Darfur?
I think it was Darfur.
Okay.
But it takes place in Africa, Atlantic coast, so that's why it happened.
And in case you're wondering what I Lost My Body is about, it is about a cut-off hand that escapes from a dissection lab with one crucial goal: to get back to its body. As it scrambles through the pitfalls of Paris, it remembers its life with the young man it was once attached to, until they meet Gabrielle.
Yeah, they didn't tell me who Gabrielle was, but I like the concept of it.
That's a neat concept.
It's a good concept. It's a different word for animation. I thought.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing about animation. You can tell stories like this.
Yes, it's just I believe it's a hand wandering the city,
like Things style.
Yes, Addams Family style.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, these are two good concepts. Based on the concept, I see why they won.
Yeah.
So these are your potential front runners currently for Oscar season.
And we'll see. We'll see how the year pans out.
We'll see how the year
these
pans
things
out.
could just get buried.
Yeah, but hey, good job on creating stuff that Netflix buys.
Yeah. All right, next story. We're back to the world of Rotten Tomatoes because they're changing things up again.
Again.
They are changing its audience score for movies, where user ratings will now reflect only moviegoers who can prove they've bought a ticket to see it in the theater. If you recall, we reported back in February when they disabled user comments prior to a movie's release and changed the way that the want-to-see ratings worked.
Right, this was to prevent review bombings on films based on whatever an actor says, director does. Anything like that.
Or, let's be real, just for people who want to talk about movies before they've seen them.
Yes.
Which is the core problem.
Yes, Star Wars.
Yeah.
The Star Wars problem.
Yeah, Star Wars problem, the Captain Marvel problem.
Yes.
Bombing things that they haven't even seen yet. You can make your review count by purchasing tickets through Fandango, AMC Theaters, Regal, and Cinemark Theaters. These are the current companies that have made a deal, I guess, with Fandango to make this happen.
Well, yes, Fandango owns Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, Fandango owns Rotten Tomatoes.
So I guess that is true. But
that is true. Yes, that is what you said.
Okay.
Yes, that is true.
All right.
But they've also made deals with the 3 biggest chains in the U.S.
Right.
They take up, I believe, 45 to 55% of the market share, I want to say.
Bet. Those are the big ones.
Yeah, those are the big ones. So if you buy online tickets through any of them, you can connect your account from there to Fandango directly and then be able to submit your own user review to Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
This is their way of cracking down, like we said, on review bombs, but it's also a good way to drive traffic to Fandango.
Yeah.
That sounds more like a business move than it does a...
It's a combination of things. It's a solution to a problem that got a lot of people talking in the press, and it is also, yes, a savvy business move. It is a combination of those two things.
I will also say this does well for Rotten Tomatoes because I know a lot of people who will look at a Rotten Tomatoes score before they go to a movie. Or if they have the option of 3 movies, they'll look at the score to determine which one they think is better.
So yeah, it's good news overall for that to be a more healthy environment that actually reflects actual
actual
user
critiques,
thoughts.
yes.
Yeah. Like instead of being this thing that just gets rapidly out of hand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because internet.
Because internet.
That's all you need to say. Just because internet.
So the chief marketing officer, Lori Pantel, did have a quote about this, but I don't know how genuine this is being. She claims that the quote, the decision for the change came out of research the company conducted last year, showing that users want more transparency. And if by research she means looking at all the headlines that was written about them last February, then sure, I'd believe them.
Yes,
but
not a whole lot of research. This is a
corporate answer.
Corporate PR answer here.
It's not what actually happened. They know that this was a nightmare that they had to recover from.
Yep.
So.
And this is a good step for them in that direction.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah. As for other stuff...
That's it for movie news.
That's it for movie news. There's a new trailer for Terminator out.
Yes.
Terminator Dark Soul.
Something like
Dark
that.
Fate.
Dark Fate.
Dark Fate is out.
People seem to like it.
Yeah.
See, people are calling it a returned form, which makes sense.
James Cameron's
back on board. It's supposed to be a direct sequel to 2.
Yes. They brought back Linda Carter.
I guess the other movies didn't happen.
The timeline is screwy.
It is.
Last week we reported on Sonic being delayed.
Delayed, yes.
And we confirmed this week, delayed until February, which we said it's going to be a January-February
release. Got
release.
another chat in the chat box.
Meanwhile, currently going on Fandango to buy tickets.
Well, there you go.
Well, there you go.
Democracy in action right there.
Yep. And in brief hush-hush Marvel news.
Hush-hush.
Rumor mill is churning that Charlie Hunnam is in early talks to play the new Wolverine.
Interesting.
Yes, those are early talks. Those are rumor mills. It's interesting that they're going to try and make that happen now.
Yeah.
Whereas we know for a fact that X-Men and Fantastic Four will not be premiering in the Marvel MCU until Phase 5. After the Phase 4 is done. So that's 5 years out.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
These things are subject to change.
Oh, a hair's notice.
Yeah. A hair's notice. That's a new one.
And a dime's thought.
Yes. There you go. We'll just keep mixing our metaphors here. All right, that's it for movies, which means we get to move on right into television. And we always start the television section with sports.
Oh, right,
and
we have sports.
Right now, sports is still dominated by basketball and hockey, who both remain in their finals.
Yes.
You have the Raptors facing the Warriors in the ensuing NBA championship.
That series will take place or start tomorrow, Thursday, in Golden State.
In California.
In California, in Oakland. The Golden State. In the Golden State.
Yes.
Yep. And then meanwhile, in the NHL playoffs, we have the Blues versus the Boston Bruins. Boston is currently winning that series 1-0 because of course they are.
But this game is currently tied, so we will see how that turns out.
Yes. Did we just finish Marvel Phase 3, or when are we in the state? Where are we in the state of Marvel?
She's correct. We did just finish Phase 3.
No, technically no.
No?
Spider-Man Far From Home is the ending of Phase 3, just like Ant-Man was the end of Phase 2.
It's like a holdover. Okay.
It's the epilogue that caps that off, but also like sets off what's happening next.
Okay, got it.
So yeah, as much. So basically, yes, it is over because Spider-Man's been filmed. It's in rotation now. But yeah, once Spider-Man Far From Home comes out, that is the official end of Phase 3.
In other sports, the Belmont Stakes are this weekend, finishing up the Triple Crown.
Yes, this is the Belmont. We'll get to Belmont this weekend.
Yep.
There will be no Triple Crown winner, but you can still see the ponies race up in New York.
They will race.
And thus concludes horse racing season.
I mean, as short as it is. Here it is.
I believe that's all we have for... we have from the chat, since we're talking about sports, Otani's walk-up song. Apparently nobody told Otani what his walk-up song is. So his welcome song is the Game of Thrones theme song.
Yes, I noticed that. I almost texted you that, but I was like, he knows.
Oh yeah, no, I noticed this the last time we were at the game. It was like, oh my god, that's it. That's what's going on. It's Game of Thrones.
All right. Anything else in the world of sports to add before we move on?
Yes. Real briefly, I saw this morning. Okay. I need to do more research on this.
Okay, real promising.
But as part of the NFL 100 celebration, they will be doing a celebration of past players competing in certain competition drills. One of these is the 2000s quarterback competition.
Ooh.
Where the likes of Peyton Manning will go up against other famous and semi-famous quarterbacks of the 2000s.
Oh, jeez.
Including Donovan McNabb and Cade McNabb and Carson Palmer.
That's funny.
And I think Kurt Warner's in that too.
That would make sense.
But yeah, that will be happening in August, right before the season actually begins. It's part of their whole 100 years of NFL celebration.
Okay.
They'll be doing other competitions as well. I think they're doing a 40-yard golden dash. Where you have to be over your golden years to still do a 40-yard dash.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, the Angels continue to slug on to 500. Or that's what you missed in baseball.
Yeah.
Still sub 500.
Yeah, I know.
Baseball's happening.
Still happening.
But you can start casting your All-Star votes starting this weekend. Throughout the month of June, as the All-Star Game is in July. So cast those All-Star votes to get your favorite player, other than Mike Trout, into the... because he's automatically, enter. Okay. He's just automatically there.
Just assume.
Yeah, just assume he's there. But yes, cast your votes to be the player nominated, or the fan-nominated player into the All-Star Game.
Okay, well, that does it for sports. Let's move on to television news proper. We start tonight with The Tonight Show.
With Jimmy Fallon.
Yes, Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, I believe is the actual title of that show.
Is it starring or is it with?
It's starring. So the reason why he said he wanted to because
that's
what Johnny Carson did.
Yeah.
It was the Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. Other hosts did not opt to do that.
Right, I believe it was with Jay Leno.
Chose to just say with. But
I think Cody Bryant was also with.
Correct.
Because
Jimmy wanted that starring credit.
Okay.
To go back to the old times. However, the old times have not been good luck for Jimmy Fallon because
they've
the
not
show
been kind.
Has taken a hit in the ratings, steadily falling behind Stephen Colbert's rival Late Show over on CBS. This has resulted in one longtime executive, Katie Hochmeyer, suddenly and mysteriously out, and the new showrunner, Jim Bell of The Today Show, tearing into boss Lorne Michaels as they struggle to fix the faltering show.
It sounds like
drama
at the executive level.
Bell was brought in to inject some topical heat into the show when it began to fall behind. Bell was responsible for bringing Fallon to Puerto Rico for a Hamilton special with Lin-Manuel Miranda. So, that's something.
That's something.
With next year being a politically charged election year, expect Fallon to try and tear into Colbert's political shtick. Will that work?
Probably not.
All signs point to no.
Yes, because of recent political turmoil. I don't want to say turmoil.
It's not recent either.
It's not recent either. Political shenanigans of this cycle. Colbert has surged since that 2016 election.
People associate Colbert with politics, even before he was on The Late Show.
Yes.
And so it's natural for audiences craving political comedy to abandon Fallon, because Fallon has been very apolitical. The show has always kind of leaned, not necessarily leaned either way. I mean, of course, the infamous example of this is when he had Trump on prior to the 2016 election and was all buddy-buddy with him. It's stuff like that that has now stayed in people's minds. People don't associate Fallon with biting commentary.
Well, that's what Fallon did leading up to the 2016 election. Is that he wanted his show to be non-political, to be an entertainment of sorts.
And as things go this direction, people want that less and less.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it'll be interesting to see what they do to retool the show. But I don't know, man. Like, it's hard for Jimmy Fallon to really adjust. It seems like he's just gonna do his own thing. He has the same
He has his shtick.
Yeah.
And it's hard to break away from that shtick.
Yeah.
Which means, could we be seeing a new change at the Tonight Show? Should these ratings stay this low?
Yeah. We'll see.
I don't know. Bring Seth Meyers?
I mean, no, because I'm sure he's happier with his slot.
Oh, I'm sure he's happy with that. He had no competition.
And his freedom.
Yeah.
And all his writers. Like, I don't think he would even want Fallon's job. I think they would have to figure out somebody else.
All right, Conan O'Brien.
Back.
Bring him back.
Somehow. No, because he's not even doing that kind of show anymore.
No,
he has pivoted to his own new format.
Right.
His show on TBS. So.
Which isn't even a weekly format. It's whenever he wants to now.
Yeah, just whenever he wants it to be. Good for him. You
Yeah.
know? Good for him. All right, let's move on to our next story. Also on NBC is, of course, The Voice.
That was unintentional, but yes.
The Voice next season will be Adam Levine-less, as he plans to exit the competition as a future judge. The singing competition was pre-taping season 16's semifinals on Sunday versus airing live on Monday because Levine and fellow coaches Kelly Clarkson, Blake Shelton, and John Legend were due at the NBC Upfronts we talked about last week in New York the next day.
Right. For those of you who need a reminder or don't know, Upfronts is when all the shows go for advertising.
Yeah.
That's for their fall schedules, for the fall premieres.
So Adam Levine, as I guess, seems like he has a lot of skin in this game. A little more than I thought he did. He expressed frustration beforehand at having to be present at the Upfront, when at that point he had no artists left in the season 16 race. If you don't know how The Voice works, it's kind of like Pokemon. The artists decide, like the judges decide, oh, this singer, I want them on my team. And then they can basically claim them, and they have teams of these singers that compete.
Right, and then the seeders go head-to-head against other singers and get knocked out one by one until there is one winner in The Voice.
So his frustration is due to a rule change in season 16. Apparently they do not guarantee that each coach goes to the live playoffs with the same number of team members. In the live cross battles, which replaced the old-fashioned knockout battles that they used to have, that was kind of like a sudden elimination thing.
Right.
His team was cut in half from 8 members to just 4, and ultimately it left him with 0 singers by the time the semifinals came in, basically giving Adam Levine nothing to do for the rest of the show.
Right, for the remaining semifinals and final episodes.
So yeah, I didn't realize that this would affect him so much, but apparently it made him bitter enough for him to not want to do the show anymore.
Long story short, Adam's a sore loser.
I guess. Or
that's what it sounds like.
Or he's just like, maybe this coincides with him feeling like he's done it for too long, because he has done it for a very long time.
Yeah, 16 seasons. That's 8 years, twice a year.
Twice a year. That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of like non-touring that he's doing too.
Right. And after being at the frickin' Super Bowl last year, he can probably do other things with his career.
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily have to stay on The Voice.
So this could mean new Maroon 5 material,
or this just could mean they retool The Voice a little bit,
or they retool The Voice. They may go back to it because, I mean, it's kind of like makes sense that you'd want all the judges to have at least one person in the finals.
Yeah.
But it also makes sense that if your person's not that good, why are you in the finals when taking someone else's spot?
Right, yeah. So, well, hopefully they'll figure that stuff out. Hopefully Adam Levine figures out something else he can do with his all his money and his time.
Yeah, as of right now, he is not planning on returning to The Voice. But, I mean, if they do make this rule change go back, kind of expect him to return, because he is part of the face of that thing.
I think he might just be done.
I would be surprised if he's done.
All right.
They have enough judges that they've rotated in and out that they can just make new judges.
But The Voice is not the only music-related reality show that is happening on television. This season we have a new one, something that just premiered last night, and it looks like you watched it.
I tuned into this thing because I've been seeing all the commercials, all the promos for it. I thought, Yeah, that's a cool concept.
Okay,
I
so
like it.
Songland is the name of this thing. It is on
NBC.
NBC. Speaking of NBC,
we're not sponsored by NBC yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's not a contest for singing, but it's a contest for songwriting. So you watch this. How does this work?
There's 3 producers. The only one I recognize is Ryan Tedder because
Ryan Tedder.
Ryan Tedder. He's the only one I recognize, but there's 3 producers and then 1 artist that sits in on this as well. Okay. This episode happened to be John Legend as the artist. And they brought in several songwriters to sing their songs to them. Or pitch their songs.
Perform or...
It's perform. They sang it.
Okay, so the songwriters... In this case, did they all sing their originals?
They all sing their own original song. No one
brought in somebody else to sing it for them?
No.
So that's how I imagine this going down.
That's how I imagine it, too.
Because I don't imagine a lot of... I mean, yes, there probably is a huge crossover between people who write music and also perform it.
Yes.
But I would also think that occasionally you get somebody who's really good at writing that may not be a good singer.
Well, they provide the lyrics to them, to the judges, and then they perform it in front of them as well.
Got it.
And after they're done performing it, they literally sit there and then they retool it as they go along.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's a really fun, interesting aspect.
It's like the Song Exploder podcast, but in reality TV show form.
A little bit, because they also do a podcast with this too about behind-the-scenes stuff.
Oh, what do you know?
But each of the 3, what is it called, producers.
Yeah.
Pick a songwriter, or pick a song from the song, pick a songwriter's song, and then they retool it, and then they present it one more time to John Legend, and then John Legend picks a winner or a song to be featured.
Oh,
and then that song is automatically then performed by John Legend at the very end in its own music video-esque thing.
Got it.
And then you can get that song on iTunes immediately after the show.
So is this kind of like a the Masked Singer kind of thing, where like the winners from these early rounds will go on to compete against each other later?
No, because it's for that artist right there.
Right.
There is no other rounds.
Oh, so this is not a this is like Chopped, not like Top Chef.
Yes, it's a Chopped.
Oh, so you just have whatever you get in that episode. It doesn't continue on.
I don't know. There's only been 1 episode. I don't think. And maybe they do bring the songwriters back for other songs. Okay. But there's only been 1 episode.
That's really interesting.
But it's really interesting because it is just here. You have 1 song to pitch to the artists.
Yeah.
I think the next episode's Will I Am. Or at least Will I Am's one of the producers on it, maybe. But yeah, they have other artists that they're bringing in, like Meghan Trainor, Jonas Brothers, John Legend. But yeah, it's a really interesting behind-the-scenes look on songwriting, especially when they start retooling it in front of them. Like, they change the wording, they change the tempo.
Yeah.
Like, immediately after he performed the song, I'm like, okay, yeah, clearly you guys know what you're doing.
That's their jobs. That's literally their job.
Is to listen to it once, find out what's wrong or how they can make it better.
This whole thing is just like they're just doing their jobs while being on television.
Yeah. This is very studio formatted, though. There is no live audience anywhere in this thing. It's a little bit like it's a little bit like Shark Tank, where they come in and they pitch their song and then they kind of choose.
This is such an interesting concept. This is something that I never thought would actually be on a network.
Right.
It's such a weird thing. Do you think this will last beyond 1 season? Do you think this will find its audience?
Maybe not. I feel like this thing will go directly to NBC's online catalog.
Yeah, maybe.
And have a home there of people who will want to watch it.
Something more niche.
It is a little bit more niche. But that being said, I really like the concept. I'm not sure how to make it better, though, because it's not like you can actually put it in front of a live studio audience, because the audience isn't choosing, it's the producers and the artist.
Right.
So, from that aspect, I like it from behind the scenes. I'll continue watching it. I think it has potential, but I also think that if there is no surefire hit that comes out of this, like a radio hit, I think it'll lose kind of a concept of okay, you're just doing this for a song. This clearly won't go anywhere, type of thing. Kind of like how The Voice has all these winners, yet I can only name you 1.
Yeah.
And that's Cassidy Pope because of her name.
It's the only one. All right. Did you watch anything else on television this week? Everything kind of ended last week, so we're like running out of shows.
Oh, well, we did watch one thing on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, we did. We should talk about this now.
We can talk about this now. It's technically a music video, but it's on Netflix, so it's
TV length.
It's TV length. It's 30 minutes. This is The Experience.
The Bash Brothers Experience, I believe is what this thing is called.
Yes, it's a Lonely Island production
Lonely
on
Island's,
Netflix.
Andy Samberg and Jorma Taccone, I believe.
Yes, Jorma and Akiva.
I don't know if he's featured, but yes.
He's one of the directors.
But this is who you think it is. This is exactly what you think it is. So basically, it's like they're taking...
The concept's ridiculous.
It's a universe in which, during the height of their fame, Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire had a rap album.
That's right. You heard that right.
That is the concept of this thing. So basically, it's just an excuse for them to make a bunch of Lonely Island-style songs in the guise of Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire. So a lot of steroids jokes, a lot of baseball jokes.
A lot of 90s jokes, 90s references. A lot of
80s, late 80s, early 90s kind of reference.
Yeah, late 80s, because it takes place in 88.
World Series happens in this thing. It's very of its time, like what they're wearing and like the way that it's shot. A lot of the videos are shot and stuff. It doesn't really have a plot. There's some sort of like hint that they're going through some like weird like daddy issues.
Daddy issues and like background of why they took their steroids and how the steroids is affecting them.
But it's not telling a story really. It's just a mood thing. It's just like an excuse for them to make a series of music videos.
It is. The music is very much like their album Incredibad.
It's very like their music.
It's very like that. If you liked the Incredibad album,
or if you liked Popstar, it's the same stuff that they do. Well,
it is.
It's very close to the stuff they were doing for HBO. The tour to whatever.
The tour?
Tour de Pharmacy.
Oh yes, the tour de Pharmacy.
And the one with the other one, the tennis one.
Oh, the Borg back whatever.
Yeah, whatever that one was called. But yeah, it's very much that, except slightly less celebrity cameos. You do get your Maya Rudolph,
your Jenny Slater,
your Jenny Slate. You know, you get enough of the cameos.
Yes, Stephanie Beatrice is in there.
Haim for some reason.
Haim is in there. Shirley K. Brown shows up.
Brown shows up in
Sia format.
Pretends to be Sia. I mean. Yeah, it's interesting. It's weird, but if you like the Lonely Island stuff, this is a no-brainer. Check this out. I don't need to tell you this.
Yes, it's on Netflix. It's 30 minutes.
Yeah,
check it out.
All right, let's move on then. I'm aiming for a quick one this week.
All right,
let's go into cancellations and renewals.
All right, what am I no longer watching?
All right, well, AP Bio at NBC has been canceled.
Or has it?
According to the internet, they're still trying to save it.
Yes,
but
the internet is trying to pull a Brooklyn Nine-Nine right now.
Probably unlikely.
AP Bio only has 2 seasons, I think.
It will be canceled after 2 seasons. If it's run. So to be honest, I'm not so super surprised about this. I saw it. I felt like it had a weird tone. I didn't know what, I felt like it didn't know what it wants to do. It has the unlikable protagonist problem.
I don't like the unlikable protagonist
which is a problem for me and a lot of people, I presume.
It is.
And so it was a really hard show to kind of get into and actually want to watch more of. That's me personally, but I could see it not being successful because of those reasons.
I'm assuming that it found some type of footing and following.
Yeah.
For this type of internet reaction.
Yeah, but again, I think it maybe mostly is because of the cast. That is a pretty good cast.
It is a good cast, but not everybody's type of comedy.
And you know what? Stuff like maybe I should give it a benefit of the doubt because stuff like Parks and Rec, it didn't really click until the 3rd season.
Second season.
Maybe if it gets a chance, this thing will maybe have a second life. But we'll see.
But it doesn't have any of the Michael Schur behind it. So.
No, it doesn't.
So
that's the problem.
That's the problem.
All right. Next up, HBO is bringing back Gentleman Jack for a 2nd season.
Yes. Speaking of HBO, real quick.
Yeah.
2nd season of Barry wrapped up.
Right.
I will have thoughts on that next week as I watch the whole thing.
Got it.
Also, apparently Chernobyl is really good, and I should be watching that.
Yeah, people seem to be talking a lot about that thing.
Yeah, now that Game of Thrones is over. People are trying to say, don't cancel your HBO, watch Chernobyl instead.
All right, that's it for cancellations and renewals. We do have a couple of deaths, though. First up, speaking of NFL quarterbacks, as we were a moment ago, NFL legend Bart Starr has died at age 85, former quarterback of the Packers.
You know who Bart Starr is.
I do know who Bart Starr is.
Yes.
Because whenever my dad says anything about old football players, he always brings up Bart Starr.
Which Bart Starr is a really great athlete's name.
Yeah.
It's a great name, period, but for an athlete, it's like
Bart Starr.
Bart Starr.
2 R's.
Yes. He's, way back in Lombardi era.
Yeah.
I think 4 Super Bowls he was in.
I think he was the one involved with those. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bart Starr will be missed, and I'm sure they'll do a tribute to him when the season starts.
I'm sure they will, because the first game will be Packers-Bears.
So there it is, right there. Tribute to Bart Starr, I'm sure, right away. And then also in sports deaths, unfortunately, another one. Bill Buckner, age 88, Red Sox first baseman, another legend of sports.
Legend for the wrong reason, though.
But in this case, for not great reasons.
Yes, for missing a ground ball.
Yeah.
And Buckner missed it. Yeah. He missed it. Oh, the Red Sox hate him now.
And it would be how long for the Red Sox to actually be successful again?
About another 20 years.
2003.
Yeah, 2003. About another 20 years ish.
So yeah, I mean they're all right now.
Yeah.
So Boston, at least you have that.
Yeah, at least they got that going for them.
All right, that's it for deaths. So that means I get to pass this on to you, and we get to move into the world of music.
And we start music with Billboard, and we start the Billboard with the Hot 100.
That's your singles chart.
Yep, and still rocking that singles up top.
So this is not top 5 is not moved one. There's 2 songs that have swapped. Can you name them?
I bet I can.
All right. So what's it? Number 1, of course, is.
It is Old Town Road by Lil Nas X. Still, your number 1. I had to play that song for someone yesterday, and they're like, "Wait, I've never heard this song." I was like, "How have you not? It's the number 1 song for the past 8 weeks." Number 2 is I Don't Care by Ed Sheeran and Justin Bieber.
Yep.
Number 3 is Bad Guy by Billie Eilish.
Yep.
Number 4 is Sucker by Jonas Brothers. And 5 is Talk, by Khalid.
That Khalid song is new to the top 5.
I would say that
even though it is not a new single, it's been around for a few.
Yeah, I'll say that's a new one, but the Ed Sheeran and Billie Eilish swapped.
I believe so.
I believe so. Sucker stayed at number 4 for a while. But that brings us to the Billboard 200.
Billboard 200, though, album chart did change up a little bit this week.
Yes. At your number 1 album of the week is Igor. It's all caps.
Yes.
By Tyler, the Creator.
All right, couple of trivia facts about this one. First up, this is Tyler the Creator's first number 1 record.
Okay.
His last record peaked at number 2.
Ooh.
Also notable, this is the first number 1 by a rap artist that is completely solely produced by the artists themselves. This has never happened on the chart.
Macklemore doesn't count because that was Ryan Lewis?
No, this is Tyler, the Creator, produced this himself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first time this has ever happened with a rap artist for a number 1 album. So
interesting.
Congratulations to Tyler.
Now, do you know what Tyler, the Creator's background is?
So he, why? Where's this going?
Go ahead.
He was originally from the rap troupe Odd Future.
Yeah, it's an oddity, isn't it?
Yeah. That was really just for that joke?
Yes, it was.
Right. Anyway.
Number 2 is Father of Assad by DJ Khaled.
Which apparently Tyler just narrowly beat.
Huh.
They were kind of neck and neck for a while.
I figured that the DJ Khaled would take number 1.
Yeah.
Number 3 is When We Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go by Billie Eilish.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 is Free Spirit by Khalid.
Yep.
Not to confuse with DJ Khaled,
right.
Also on the top 5.
2 different people.
And at number 5, I Am Easy to Find by The National. That National?
Yes, the National somehow got their record in the top 5 this week.
Weird. I want to say ticket sales.
Maybe, yeah, it could have been a ticket sale thing for the tour.
Maybe. Anyways, if you don't like any of that, we have new releases this week.
Wow, what am I going to be listening to this week?
I don't know what you're going to be listening to, but here are the new releases.
All right.
We have Denzel Curry with Zoo.
You said it.
We have Duff McKagan.
Yes.
Duff McKagan with Tenderness. Remo Drive with Natural, Everyday Degradation. Degradation. Everyday Degradation.
Something like that.
Scared Paws with Run Around the Sun. And back, I assume.
Nope, just staying there.
Just stay there. Skepta with Ignorance is Bliss. And lastly, Thomas Rhett with Center Point Road.
There was at least going to be one that you got this week. There it is.
There it is. One new Thomas Rhett album.
Yep.
Center Point Road. I will be checking that out this weekend.
Weird week. Needless to say, not a strong week for music.
Yeah. Hey, a little bit of something. It's something.
Let's talk about music news.
All right. Well, we'll start music news with Warner Brothers.
Yes. Or
Warner Brothers Records. Or
just Warner Records.
Maybe. Some 61 years after founding of Warner Brothers Records, the label is being rebranded as Warner Records.
Just Warner.
Across the globe. Yes. Warner Brothers Records is dropping the brothers.
Yes.
And just becoming Warner Records. The new logo appears above. This way.
Oh, sorry. That's a copy-paste. That is not the new logo on our screen. That is the old Warner Brothers logo. The new logo actually looks pretty cool.
Okay. Well, the revamped website launched just a few minutes ago.
Again, this is a copy-paste. It didn't just do it a few minutes ago.
The move is taking place both legal and imaging reasons.
Yeah.
The announcement notes that when Warner Music Group was sold by Time Warner back in 2004 to a group of investors led by Edgar Bronfman Jr., that's a great name, by the way.
Yeah, right.
It was agreed that Warner Brothers Records, which was founded in 1958 as a division of Warner Brothers Pictures, would continue to use the Warner Brothers name and logo for 15 years.
Yeah, only 15 years.
Well, that 15 years are up.
Real quick, before we move on, we have a question from the chat.
Has
anyone ever seen DJ Khaled and Khalid in the same room?
No, this is why I say their same name is the same. Wait, I swear they've collabed on something, right?
I don't actually know. I listened to the Khalid album, which I'll talk about a little later today, and I don't believe DJ Khaled appears.
Okay, but no, does Khalid appear on DJ Khaled? Because DJ Khaled is nothing but featuring artists.
I don't know, to be honest.
Anyways, the Warner Brothers rebranding. I guess Warner Music, Warner Records. It's just Warner Music. Warner Records rebranding also allows the company, which was acquired by another Access Industries in 2011, has undergone dramatic changes in leadership and artist roster over the past couple of years to officially make a fresh start.
So yeah, I thought this was interesting. I'm always interested in the rebrand, especially one that drops such a famous, storied name.
I know. It's now just Warner's, not Warner Brothers, because this makes it feel more like Time Warner than Warner Brothers.
Exactly, and I'm wondering maybe if that's on purpose, if they're trying to distance themselves from those old brands to try to become to look fresh.
Maybe, but even Time Warner itself got bought up by Spectrum.
Right.
So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's interesting, but also this is a slow news week for music. What's our next story?
It's a slow news week all around. As our next story is about Rolling Stones. Well, not that Rolling Stones, and not that Rolling Stones.
It's really about one of the most famous one-hit wonders of the 90s.
Yes, it's a Bittersweet Symphony.
Yeah, called Bittersweet Symphony.
Bittersweet Symphony.
So, of course, you know this song.
Yes, you know the song. Yes, this is Verve's Bittersweet Symphony.
Yes.
Well, nearly 22 years after the song was released, the Rolling Stoneses, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards have assigned to Richard Ashcroft, the songwriter, royalties. 22 years too late, and removed their writing credit. I didn't know they were written on it.
Well, the explanation is in the rest of the story.
Well, the song was a global hit in 1997, and still is, I would say, in today's. The song samples a segment of an orchestral version of the Jagger's Richard 1965 composition, "The Last Time," from an album by erstwhile Stones manager and producer Andrew Logan Oldham.
So yeah, if you know anything about music, like music history as per samples in songs, you would know that the late 90s were a hotbed for that discussion.
Yes.
There was a lot of talk about especially after, kind of in the wake of rap becoming mainstream, about like the legality of samples, about sampling something in your song. And this was kind of part of that aftermath, where the Verve just decided that it was safer for them legally to give songwriting credit to the members of the Rolling Stones, just in case, so it wouldn't become a legal fight.
Right, and all those royalty monies would be tied up. Wow. They figured it'd be better to have most of the pie than try and fight for all of the pie.
Right, exactly, losing.
Yeah.
So this is actually kind of a cool move by those old guys to be like, hey, yeah, we think that you were owed this whole time. Here.
Yeah. Well, the sample was not fully cleared originally, and after legal battles, the song's publisher, Ashcroft, signed away his rights and royalties to Bittersweet Symphony, frequently complaining about it in the press, though. Although the sample is a prominent element in the song.
It is the song.
It is the song.
But makes that song. Fun. Just another one of our fun sample stories.
Yeah.
Except this time it's kind of the reverse of what we usually report.
Right, where the sample usually is won by the original creators.
Right.
Although 22 years, I think they've earned their money's worth on it, and other stuff. I don't think they're really that worried about this one song.
No, and also they're not worried about money, I assume.
Probably not.
All right, that's it for music news.
All right, that brings us to thoughts, and you listened to some stuff.
Okay, so
you listened to some stuff.
I did some catch up. So as you know, I have made this unfortunate vow of trying to listen to every single #1 album this year.
Well, let's start from now and work our way back.
That was my plan. So I didn't finish everything that I needed to catch up on. I still need to listen to that Pink album.
Wait, Pink was #1?
There was a week where Pink was #1.
Really?
I have to go back and listen to that.
Did I miss that?
No, you were here.
I was here.
You were here.
I was here.
It's just that's how forgettable that these #1 albums have been this year. Is that it's been dominated by just a handful so long that the ones that aren't the ones that we've reported on week after week, we forget instantly.
Right.
So this week, as we noted earlier, Tyler, the Creator, was #1 with Igor. That thing. I was surprised by that thing.
Surprised good or surprised bad?
Surprised good. So I don't know a whole lot about Tyler. I know that when he kind of was early in his career, he was abrasive and trying to offend and trying to kind of make music that was abrasive. Like he was trying to make that kind of music. Then I guess as his career has gone on, he's kind of sanded off those edges and become more of a personal storyteller, making music about himself. I think the last one from last year was when he kind of made that pivot, and this one continues that. So this is less of a rap album, and it's more of kind of like a mood piece, kind of like that Solange record I talked about earlier in the year.
Yeah.
It's very much like one song kind of glides into the next. It's very influenced by soul and kind of like, and even some gospel touches. Like this was very like the whole time I was thinking, it's like this is a very post Life of Pablo record. Remember how weird Kanye West's Life of Pablo was when it came out?
Yes, and he's still weird, but yes.
I see like it did make some impact. It's been a slower burn. And like, yeah, you could see Tyler like harkening back to some of those sounds. And a lot of Chance the Rapper influence in this thing as well. So yeah, a lot of gentle kind of measured touches coming from somebody who I had understood as being kind of this like rebellious rapper. And that's not who he really is anymore. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this thing. It's actually a pretty breezy, good listen. There are a couple of moments of kind of where he does kind of go in on the rap, and it does get a little harsher. But for the most part, it's fun, and it surprised me how much I liked it.
Oh, okay.
Then going back to
2 weeks ago, we have Free Spirit by Khalid.
So Khalid, this was kind of... Oh, no. Actually, Logic was last week.
Okay, so
about Logic.
Confessions of a Dangerous Mind by Logic.
So, take everything I just said, and then the album that I imagined that the Tyler, the Creator record was going to be, that's what this Logic thing was.
Oh.
So, Logic has a bone to pick. I don't know if you know this or not about him. This entire thing is basically just about how angry he is at the public, and the media, about how he is portrayed. Logic, of course, is now super mega famous because he was heavily featured on the Suicide Hotline song, the 1-800, etc.
Yes.
And after that, he kind of made a bigger name for himself. He started showing up more in big arenas, and like people know now who Logic is more than they did before. He really wants to be Eminem, to the point where he has Eminem on a song on this thing.
Right.
What we actually talked about it a couple of weeks, Homicide.
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago. That is a bad song.
Oh, yes.
It's basically them trying to out-rap each other. And then it ends... Oh, you actually might find this funny. That song ends with basically Logic telling Eminem to shut up. And then they play the Saturday Night Live clip of Taron Killam doing his Eminem impression. Remember the bit where he kind of went on for a while saying stuff about like napkins?
Yeah.
And they let that ride. They just let the clip go.
And everyone just approved of this.
Yeah, and they were both apparently too cool with this. It's surreal on a record that doesn't really have any other moments like that. But yeah, the whole thing is basically Logic either talking about how the media doesn't think he's hard, doesn't think he can rap, and he's trying to prove that by doing Eminem-style, like, verbal gymnastics that he can do. Like, he's adept at it, kind of like Eminem now. They're good technical rappers, but it's what they're rapping about that isn't interesting anymore. And so, yeah, and then he also tries to be, like, the Suicide Hotline song pep talk rapper. Right. So there's some songs where he's basically just saying, like there's a lot of lines where he mentions self-care. Because, like, that's his thing now. It's like Logic is now, like, his persona has now been tied up in, oh, I'm just trying to help you be a better person kind of thing.
I'm trying to understand you. I'd help you understand yourself.
Yeah, it's weird. It's you know what? I see, like, a 16-year-old boy thinking this is the best thing they've ever heard. But everybody else, it might be a little alienating. It's really unclear what Logic thinks, who Logic identifies himself as. It seems like he's at conflict being a mixed-race person, and that conflict shows up in every song. About, like, he just feels like he's of a world and of a universe that he's not really a member of, and yet he's, at the same time, constantly name-dropping. Almost every song on this thing mentions Kanye West.
Oh, I wonder who's influencing.
Yeah, definitely. Like, he definitely, like, and Jay-Z is mentioned a lot, and, like, all these big names. Like, he really desperately wants to be one of the all-time, like, greats, but it's like, not like this, man.
He wants to be that one.
Like this.
He wants to be that one in a million.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, so that's Logic.
All right. Khalid's Free Spirit album?
Man, I could fall asleep to that thing.
Did you?
Is boring. I will say that now. So Khalid has a voice that, like, in certain lights can be, like, really appealing. You'd be like, oh, he's got a really, really cool voice. Imagine, like, a slightly more soulful Ed Sheeran without the accent.
Ed Sheeran has an accent?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
And that gets you closer to where Khalid is, but, like, it's better than what that sounds like. But he just doesn't have the songwriting chops, or whoever helping him write these songs doesn't also to actually like sound interesting. So all the songs just come across as boring and like kind of sleepy. Even the two radio singles, which are back to back on this record, the aforementioned "Talk," which is in the top 5 this week, and also I don't know what it's called, but it's the one with the hook that says it doesn't get better than this. It's like, they're fine songs, but like there's a reason why those are the radio singles, because those are the most interesting things here. It's a slog. It's too long because it's 2019 and everything is. But yeah, I don't know. It bored me.
Okay.
Then going back another week. Well, like I said, I haven't listened to the Pink record.
Well, you know it's a long weekend when you listen to 4 albums.
Yeah. But then...
4 albums.
Before Pink, though, was BTS.
Yes. Map of the Soul, Persona.
So this thing, I didn't know what to expect from BTS. I thought they were like a Korean boy band.
They are a Korean boy band.
Well, listening to this thing, I still don't really know, because like there are some things that sound boy bandish. Like the one single that has Halsey on the chorus is very much like a boy band style pop song.
Okay.
The rest of it, though, they go hard on like rapping. And
what?
Like kind of like, yeah, there's a lot of rapping, like Korean rapping in this thing. A lot more than I anticipated. It opens with a rap number, and it's speckled with them. It's like half, like it's not maybe even not half and half pop and rap. It's very hip hop. So I was very confused and like kind of bewildered by this whole thing. It's not for me. I was hoping I would like it because I liked that more poppier song. I thought it was fun, but the rest of it's not very fun. But I get immediately why teenage girls are into this, because it's like the guys sound menacing almost. You don't know what they're saying because most of the words are in Korean, but they have this like bite to them that I wasn't anticipating, and so it does seem like the girls falling for the bad boys kind of thing.
Oh.
It's got that vibe to it, except there's even another layer of mysticism there because they're Korean.
Because you don't know exactly
what
they're
saying, and you don't know like about them. And so like I get the obsession now. I get like there's a mystery about them that you want to know more about. So teenage girls, it makes sense. Like I get BTS, but at the same time, not for me.
Not for you, but you understand.
Not for me, but I get the appeal now.
Okay.
All right, so that was my marathon.
That was your long weekend, apparently.
No, all today. That was all today.
That's all today.
That was all today at work.
Wow.
It was a slow day. All right. So next week I'll catch up with that Pink record. But other than that, I think I've got it. I'll have to double check.
Okay. Well, that brings us to video games.
Sure does.
Oh, and we're just burning through everything here.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, we start video games with new releases. We actually have new releases this week compared to last week.
They all waited a week apparently, and not they wanted to skip last week to make it this week.
Yes, we have The Outer Wilds for Xbox and PC.
Yep.
The Elder Scrolls Online, Elsewhere, for the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC.
That's the newest expansion to the Elder Scrolls Online.
Okay, I was going to say, that's not a new Elder Scrolls Online.
Not a new game, it has a new expansion.
Yes. We also have Kododama, The 7 Mysteries of Fujisawa for PlayStation, Switch, and PC. We also have The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel 2 Relentless Edition for the PlayStation. We also have Warhammer, Chaos Bane for the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. And for all you people who still have a Nintendo a Nintendo 3DS, we have Persona Q2, New Cinema Labyrinth.
Whatever the hell that means.
It's a Persona game.
It's there.
That's a Persona game.
All right.
Well,
cool.
And moving on to news.
Can't wait till E3. Real games get announced.
Well, if you can't wait for E3 for new games, may I interest you in a new console?
Maybe. What we're talking? What are we talking here?
We're talking about a Playdate. And not that kind of Playdate.
I love Playdates. They're my favorite.
Well, I like Play-Doh.
Get to hang out, eat, drink juice with my friend. Sometimes the nanny will let us like watch a movie Like whatever, like let's sit down in front of Lion King.
Well, no, it's always Finding Nemo, but it always starts at chapter 2.
No, not when I was a kid, man. Finding Nemo later. I'm saying like my play dates. It was like Lion King VHS, juice box. That's it. That's all I need.
Mine was Cinderella because I had my sister.
Oh yeah, play date.
Yeah,
it's your sister. You get strapped as your sister sometimes.
Yep. Well, anyways, play date.
Sorry, the video game handheld play date.
Yes, this is a Portland-based Panic. Sorry,
that's the name of the.
That's the name of the company
that's making it.
Yes, Portland-based Panic. Has a shiny new game console called Playdate, which we've been talking about here. Yes. And a slew of new games to go with it.
Yeah.
Playdate is a bright yellow, not to be confused with a Pikachu yellow.
No, it's very different.
No, very different. A bright yellow handheld console with a black and white screen and a crank.
Yeah, you heard that right.
Yes, a crank. But no, not for power.
No.
This little crank has functionality in some games for this new console. The crank is a gameplay element for the first confirmed game of the new console called Crankin's Time Travel Adventure, which is from Kira Takahashi.
Yes.
The creator behind Katamari Damacy.
Yes.
The
Katamari man himself bringing his talents over the plate.
As a new game that has a crank in it.
Yeah.
In this game, the little crank will be used to control time itself, moving time forwards and backwards as necessary. Other games won't necessarily use the crank, but it's there as a tool to developers.
As Jeff Gerstmann from Giant Bomb tweeted, it's the first system to take advantage of my favorite thing, cranking it.
Now we just need a Luke Bryan-esque game where you can crank it up.
Crank it up.
Or a Jason Statham game called Crank: The Next Revolution.
That's good. That's a good one. I like that. Real quick, so this sounds kind of cool. Apparently it won't be too expensive. I think it'll retail at like $150.
Okay.
It's due out sometime later this year.
Now, are there games downloaded to it, or is it cartridge-based?
So it is completely download-based. There are no physical cartridges. And how it works, apparently, is since it's constantly connected to your Wi-Fi, apparently there's like a mechanism in it that will a light will light up on it when there's new games available. Oh. So that way you'll always know, like, oh, there's something else I can try out on this thing.
Okay.
So there'll be the constant stream of new toys to play with.
Do we know about pricing for these games yet?
For the games, I'm not sure. They didn't say anything about pricing for these initial games. They may be available for free. I don't know. It may be. It probably depends on the deal that they made with Panic. So we'll see.
My one caveat on this thing is the screen being black and white.
Yeah, and also it's not backlit, which a lot of people are complaining about. Yeah. So this will be classic Game Boy style, where you just might not be able to play this during the night, straight up.
Boo.
You'll have to have a light on. This is not going to work in like the back of a dark car, for example.
Boo. That's where I play all my games.
One thing, other thing to boo about though, is that these guys, so they kind of had all this goodwill once this announcement came out. And immediately shot it in the foot because just a few days after this story broke, a Los Angeles-based zine company, also called Playdate, told the press that the Playdate, that Panic had approached them and had asked them to change the name of their zine company, or a zine like fest kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Or face legal repercussions. Like, nah.
Nah, man.
Like, this thing predates you. Also, it's like a pretty cool, like, thing. It's not like a giant corporation. It's like this little independent outfit that you're cornering about the name that you decided you wanted. Not cool, guys.
It's like someone trying to come after us for Media Boat.
Right, exactly. That would exactly. Like if somebody was like trying to name something Media Boat, they saw our website and was like, "Hey, nah, you need."
It was
to change
like,
this.
we typed in Media Boat and you guys popped up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because we've been doing this for 5 years. Right. 200 episodes come out.
Almost.
Well, yes. Well, our count's at 187, but we've published 200 episodes.
But yeah, it's like it's annoying. So it did kind of like tarnish this thing a little bit for me. But that's still an in-progress story. It looks like that person's also finally, I guess the person who's in charge of that smaller Playdate company is in the press today talking to a website. I forget which website grabbed that. But yeah, so there's stuff happening with that. So we'll see if there's any changes and if Panic backs up a little on that. But yeah, not good light to put your new handheld in, especially one that looks so cool.
Yeah, it's got a crank.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's interesting.
It's not great.
It's an interesting concept.
All right, but that wasn't the big video game story this week.
Well, it's not even the big... Well, no. Because the big video game story this week happened literally today.
Well, did it? The Kojima's Death Stranding had a new trailer today.
Yes, that's not what I'm referring to, though.
Oh. Did I miss something else?
Yes. I'm talking about Pokemon.
That stuff happened yesterday.
Oh, was that yesterday?
Yes.
Oh,
that's in my story. I wrote this.
Okay. Well, because I saw it today.
Yesterday.
Well, no, I saw it today.
I watched it live last night at 6 o'clock.
Okay, that's why.
It was, well, tell them the story.
Well, the Pokemon Company has decided to hold a press conference.
Or had.
Had
a press conference.
Had. Well, they will have one again next...
Well, there's a difference. This was the company press conference.
Yes.
What's happening next week is a Nintendo Direct.
Yes.
Those are two very different things. One is put on by Nintendo, one is put on by the Pokemon Company, who are, yes, legally distinct companies, believe it or not.
Yes. Well, during a Pokemon Company press conference, they showed off 4 new initiatives.
They did.
The first being Pokemon Home.
Yes.
A new cloud-based storage service for Pokemon caught on the 3DS, the Switch, and Pokemon Go.
So, real quick to explain what this is. So if you have any of the 3DS Pokemon games, you may know about Pokemon Bank. Pokemon Bank is this free download, but $5 annual subscription product.
Oh no, $5 a year.
I know. That allows you to store all of your Pokemon that you catch on those 3DS games, whether it be X, Y, Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby, or Sun Moon, Ultra Sun Moon. Yeah. Any of those games, you can save them on your bank, and it saves to the cloud, essentially. Yes. As long as you keep paying that $5, you can have access to them. So this is basically that, except also compatible with the Switch games, both the existing Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and the upcoming Sword and Shield, and even Pokemon Go. Yes. Which means your Pokemon Go games, or Pokemon, can be transferred to here, and then potentially in the future, transferred to the Switch game.
Not only that, but via Pokemon Home, you can transfer your Pokemon to other players.
Yeah, there'll be a trade system
via mobile.
A
trade system built in via mobile.
Yeah.
So you just have to meet someone, say, hey, I have this Pokemon, you have that Pokemon, let's trade.
Yeah.
And boom. This concept,
cool.
Pokemon Home, is cool and may actually be the thing that makes me go back to playing Pokemon Go.
Maybe.
Because I stopped playing Pokemon Go because I couldn't transfer it to anything. Yes, you could transfer it to Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu. But I didn't own a Switch, therefore I had no use for it.
Yeah. This makes it even easier. The question, though, people with experience about porting Pokemon over to Pokemon games know that it isn't just as easy as putting them in a box. What games often make you do is for intra-game trades, it'll put them in a situation where you actually have to make some sort of effort to get them. They'll put them in like a Pokemon park where you have to go around and actually like briefly battle them so that way you can throw a ball at them to catch them. There's a version of this existing right now in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee for the Pokemon Go transfers.
Right.
So yeah, who knows what that will be, especially in the new games. But yeah, this is cool and kind of a permanent solution to what I thought was going to be a problem of interactivity between the Switch and the old games.
Right. That's always a problem of trying to backtrack on stuff.
It's why they basically abandoned the original 2 generations because there was no way to port them over to the Game Boy Advance.
Yep.
Correctly. which is why in that press conference they showed a graphic at one point that was like, yeah, Pokemon that you've had for a very long time, and the earliest system there is a Game Boy Advance. Because they can't go back any further than that.
Anyways.
What else did they announce?
They also announced a sequel will be in the works to Detective Pikachu.
The game.
For the Switch.
Yes.
For the game.
The game. So the game was a 3DS game. The new sequel will be on the Switch. They said it will finish the story of the first game, which apparently ended on a cliffhanger?
I guess so.
According to the I never played it. But they said that this ending may be slightly different than the one we now know from the movie.
Yes. I didn't realize those stories were very similar.
Yeah. They are the same story, just different ending.
Okay. Apparently.
Who knew?
Yeah. They also were very excited about the success of Pokemon Detective Pikachu, the movie.
Yes.
They also announced Pokemon Masters, a mobile game containing many past gym trainers from Pokemon games. And when this came up, I kind of squealed a bit.
This is your dream. They're
this
doing
is the
one
wet
of those
dream.
dumbass mobile games, except this time with Pokemon.
Yes, you can team up with trainers. Or it's not trainers, with former gym leaders to take on other gym leaders and Pokemon Masters across the generations of Pokemon.
I love that, but for me, it will 100% depend on what the actual gameplay is.
Oh, yeah.
They showed some brief gameplay, but it looked like just like
they literally
weird tap battles.
They literally showed one move that looked like it was a tactical 3-on-3 battle.
So yeah, if it's really just a battling game, I might pass. But if they do something neat with this thing, then maybe I'm in. So we'll see.
Well, considering they only showed literally one attack in the battle system, and just other than that, it was, hey, look at all these other Pokemon characters throughout the series that you can interact with.
So this was the only thing that they announced that was going to hit calendar year 2019. Everything else seems to be 2020.
Yes. Including this next thing. Because they weren't done yet. No.
The weirdest thing was yet to come.
Yes, because not only do they want you to play Pokemon while you're awake, they want you to play Pokemon while you sleep. But wait, how do you play Pokemon while you sleep?
Well, how do you?
Well, you can play it by playing Pokemon Sleep. That is not a joke. That is literally the name of this new game. Pokemon Sleep. So you can Pokemon Go and then Pokemon Sleep.
Yeah, one of my favorite things I saw on Twitter today was a graphic where they put a Pokemon Let's Go Home to Sleep.
Yes. This Pokemon Sleep will be another new mobile game. It will also come to Pokemon Go in the form of Pokemon Go Plus. Which is the dumbest name ever.
So you know all the stuff that the Pokeball controller does, where it's a pedometer and you can put a Pokemon in it, and also it has like stuff that lets you grab items in Pokemon Go and stuff.
Yes.
So that is what this thing is, except this thing also has sleep tracking stuff.
Yes, it's an additional accessory which will have all the functions of the Pokemon Go Plus.
Yeah.
But it won't be looking like a Pokeball, though.
It'll be it's like a flat disc Pokeball.
Yes, it's what the original Pokemon Go Plus looked like.
Yeah.
The little pin tracker thing.
Yeah.
But it will also track your sleep.
Because everybody needs that.
Because why not play Pokemon when you're not playing Pokemon?
So yeah, it was weird because the whole way that they kind of talked about this. One, they talked about it as if it was like a company initiative. Like they were like, oh, well, we revolutionized walking. Next, we're going to revolutionize sleeping.
I was wondering where they were going with that.
Yeah.
When they first started showing it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. This Pokemon Go. We got you to go outside and walk and explore. Like, cool.
Now sleep.
Now sleep.
Go to sleep.
Well, see, because they started off with you took to the ground,
right.
Walking over, like, now take to the skies and fly. Like,
no.
Go
to sleep.
No, go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
They want you to play Pokemon while you sleep.
The only creepy thing about this is, man, what if a Pokemon uses Dream Eater? Think about it. Dream Eater.
That's a ghastly situation.
Eat my dreams. All right. That's it.
All right.
There'll be more news about Pokemon Sword and Shield next week.
Yes, they did briefly bring up Sword and Shield, but only that there will be a Nintendo Direct next Wednesday. So we will have Pokemon news next week as well.
Literally before we record, there will be Pokemon news.
Yes, at 6 o'clock our time, I think. So we're going to watch it for 10 minutes and then give you our immediate reactions.
Yep.
Lastly, in video game news, for those of you that have a PlayStation Plus account, the new games for...
It just renewed this week, so yes, I still do.
Yes, the new games...
$60 came out of my freaking bank account, and I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus.
The new games have been announced for next month, and one of them is the Handsome Jack collection.
Yeah!
Yeah!
So all the Borderland games, basically free if you're already paying for Pokemon. For PlayStation Plus. You got Pokemon on the
For Pokemon Plus.
But that wasn't the one that I thought was interesting, though. The other one I thought was interesting.
Which one is that?
Sonic Mania.
Oh, yeah, Sonic Mania.
The critically acclaimed Sonic game, the only one, is finally coming to service like this. So, yeah, I may actually play Sonic Mania. We'll see.
I may try and get my roommate to play Borderlands with me because it's split screen.
There you go. Yeah, you can.
And we have 2 controllers.
Co-op that thing.
I mean, it'd be...
Speaking of co-op, here's my... This will never happen, but here's my, shot for the sky for Sword and Shield.
Okay.
Game Freak should put in a co-op mode.
Put in a co-op mode?
Like a for real co-op mode. Because things are happening in my life right now where that would actually be a really cool idea.
I know, we both get a Pokemon game and we play it together.
Yeah, that's who I was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, because we've done that before where you've gotten Sun, I've gotten Moon.
I mean,
you've
that's
gotten
X,
I've gotten Y.
That's probably
We're going to get Shield, I'll get Sword.
But I mean, on the same Switch, I don't know. That would be a cool thing. They should do that. It's never going to happen, but they should do that.
It doesn't seem like it's going to happen because that's online. That's a lot of work and online stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe.
Yeah, because as we learned this week, this wasn't in my video game news because it was a real quick thing. Mm-hmm. But as we learned this week, Nintendo doesn't want you going online talking to people you know. God forbid.
Oh, I saw that. I briefly saw that. It's they'll usually connect you with strangers, but people you know, your friends, nah, man, that doesn't work here.
On Mario Maker 2.
Yes.
But yeah, once that becomes an actual story, we'll report on it. But we'll be there. All right, well, that's it.
All right, well, that's it. So that wraps us up here at the Media Game Podcast. So plug away.
That's it for the Media Boat Podcast. If you liked what you saw and heard, we'll be back.
And I know you did.
We know you did. We're back every Wednesday, including next Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, right after that that Nintendo Direct. So tune in there. Just go into YouTube, search Media Boat Podcast, and you'll find our page. Like, subscribe, click that bell, and you'll get notifications every time we go live. If you want to listen to the audio version of our podcast, that's available to you as well. Apple Podcasts, where you can snatch that up, as well as any podcast catcher that uses their RSS feed. So just type in Media Boat Podcast, and you'll find our show. You can also find us on social media. On Twitter, we're at MediaBoatCast. On Facebook, search Media Boat Podcast and find our page. Comment, please. And if you go on to twitch.tv/video games, don't go there.
Twitch.tv/MediaBoat.
You can see us playing video games every once in a while. Maybe you'll be playing some Handsome Jack collection soon.
Yeah, that's Tuesday.
You can also, or maybe I'll play some Sonic Mania. I don't know.
Hey,
we're also on Patreon.com/MediaBoat if you want to help us out with money, moolah, big ones, fat stacks. We are kind of an independent thing. We don't actually operate this using any of our own money. We do pay into our website, though, in hosting this podcast. So, by all means, if you want to help us out with all those things that add up and are expensive, please help us on Patreon. That's a place where you can donate to us directly. As little as $1 a month can help us make this stuff even better than it already is. So please go up on here. We'll have exclusive things for people who are patrons. So just sign up and see what happens. That will do it, I believe. So we'll be back next week for another episode of the Media Boat Podcast. In the meantime, keep training those Pokemon.
Yep, we'll be back next week with Nintendo Direct. We'll be back with thoughts on either Aladdin or Rocketman or maybe both.
Or Godzilla or all the
Or Godzilla or anything like that. All right. We'll be back. And new music as well.
Yeah, there'll be new music, I'm
Big
sure.
review show next week.
Big review show.
All right.
Look forward to it. Okay,
We'll
bye.
see next week. Bye. All right. Well, my phone died. So,
Oh well, so we'll never know if we were chatted with.
well, we chat online with you live.
It's true.
Until my phone dies, apparently.
Apparently.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.